if you want to improve at football, it usually requires a lot of effort, extra training, extra recovery, extra gym work. What if I told you that there are some ways in which you can instantly improve, no extra effort? Well, watch this video to the end, and the next game you play, you'll find that there's a massive advancement in your game. And take it from me, because I made my debut for a professional team last year. First, and arguably the biggest game changer on the list, it's scanning. Scanning is the act of building up a picture of what's really there in your mind on the pitch. And the best players have mastered this. Messi, De Bruyne. And if you want to be any kind of creative player, then you need to master this, because this is how you'll be able to play them killer passes, by knowing exactly where your teammate is. And if you want to beat defenders, knowing exactly where they are, if they're on your left or your right. And this is actually essential for defenders as well. Knowing where the striker or winger is can avoid you making a mistake that plays right into their hands. So now you understand scanning's importance, but how can you actually do it to improve? The next game you go into, have in mind that you want to build a picture. You want to know where everyone is without even having to look up. And the way you do this, like I said, is you're looking left, right, forwards, forward and right. You're constantly checking your shoulders. You're constantly looking to see where everyone is. And what you'll notice is that when you actually apply this in a real game, your decision making will improve, and you'll find that you have more time on the ball just because you know where that defender is. This won't click instantly for you because it's a new habit, so you'll have to constantly remind yourself before you go into every game to actually do this, but after a while it'll become natural. This leads on to my second point, and that is taking scanning one step further. We now have a picture, we know what everyone is, we know what's going on the pitch, but now what we can do to increase our speed of play even more is we can decide exactly what we're going to do with the ball before it even comes to us. And the way that this works is most players, they're just waiting for the ball. They just want the ball, they're waiting for the ball. They don't have in mind what they're gonna do with the ball. And what this means is these players, they have to take a couple more seconds just to think what they're going to do when they actually get the ball. So you can imagine in a scenario where you receive the ball and then you're thinking, oh, am I gonna run at the player? Am I gonna cross it? They don't know what to do. And this kills your intensity. So if you do the opposite and you decide what you're going to do with the ball, for example, you're gonna play a first time pass, or you're gonna take a beautiful touch in front of you and start running at the defender. This will increase your intensity. And effectively, that makes your speed of play faster. And scouts absolutely love this. Because if you're standing out in a way that you're just playing faster, your brain's just working quicker, trust me, you won't be at the level that you're playing at right now for long. And you'll be moving up very quickly. For an example, and something I do all the time, is when my midfielder has the ball, I usually know he probably wants to pass to me. So I'll have in mind, I'll look up and I'll see if there's a gap in between the defenders. I'll see if there's a gap anywhere across the pitch which I can drive into the space. And usually I'll identify a gap, and what I'll do is I'll decide I'm just going to run straight through this gap before the ball's even got to me. So then when the ball does come to me, I can do it a couple seconds quicker than if I had to look up after I received the ball. And what this does is it catches all the defenders off guard, and it's kind of a free run into the box for me. And as a left back as well and a defender, this helps me so much. Reason being is when I get the ball played out to me from the back, I'll have a look up just before that happens, see where my left winger is, see where my midfielder is, and I'll decide that I'm going to pass it straight away to my left winger. I'm going to pass it straight to my midfielder. And this makes you very press resistant, because if you imagine a right winger's pressing me as a left back, I've already played my pass before they even get to me, and it just reduces the risk of you losing the ball. And this sort of leads on to my third point, which is gambling. Not the betting type, but gambling on everything. And what I mean by this is, for an example, if you're an attacker, you have to gamble on the fact that the ball could be placed perfectly in the position for you to score. Your teammate could play a perfect ball for you to literally just go and run at the defender. So what this will mean is you have to do them extra runs. You have to just assume that the ball is coming to you at all times. And what you'll find is you'll make 9 runs down the wing, you'll make 9 runs as a striker, whatever position you are, you'll make a load of runs forward, and you'll just assume that your teammate will get it to you. And 9 times out of 10, they won't. They might do it, you might make that run 9 times and they will not pass you the ball. But on that 10th time, they'll identify that you're making this run, they'll play the ball over the top for you, and you'll get a free goal. You'll literally get a free one-on-one with a keeper just because you had to make them extra runs basically, and you were gambling on the fact that the ball could come to you. And what you'll actually find as well is at a bare minimum, if you're doing this, you'll tire out the defender so much. You'll tire out the defender. If you're constantly gambling, making these runs here and there, the defender will get tired, and what you'll find is when it gets to the 70th minute of the game, you basically ran them around ragged. They're really tired. So it'll make your game easier and you'll get fitter at a bare minimum. And if you're a defender, this advice is essentially the opposite of gambling, and it's kind of gambling on the fact that your teammate doesn't have it covered. So for example, the other team are in the box, you guys are all defending, your teammate's standing someone up. Assume that he isn't going to win the tackle. Assume it could come out to the player in the box who's right next to you. What I mean by this is you have to be constantly on your toes, constantly ready for the ball to go to your man that you need to defend. You need to defend with your life, basically. Jumping in front of the goal, making a goal line clearance. You always have to be on your toes and just assume that the worst is going to happen in the box. So this essentially means being risk averse. And what I mean by that is basically reducing your risk as a defender. So another example of this is if the ball's been played over the top and your defender's gone to head the ball, you can assume that he might not make that header. Of course, have faith in your teammate, but just assume, just on the off chance, that he plays it with the back of his head and it goes through to their striker, because that can happen and it's a regular thing that does happen in football. What you would do to prevent this risk is you literally run behind him. You just run behind him as cover, and you're not annoying anyone by doing that. You're not trusting your teammates. In this scenario, for example, you're really helping out the team, and you can literally save goals for your team just by assuming the worst is going to happen and effectively doing the opposite of gambling. So for this point, you're going to have to play it scenario to scenario as a defender. Obviously you have trust in your teammates, but in some scenarios you need to prevent that risk. And as an attacker, bank on everything coming to you. Just bank on the fact that the ball is going to be played in the perfect spot. And trust me, both of those things will help your game so much. Fourth is a slightly different one, because with these first three, you at least have to think about them. You at least have to think about scanning and gambling, and what you're going to do when the ball comes to you. But with this one, it's an instant thing. You will literally improve 100 times just by doing this before your game. And it's sleeping longer than 6 or 7 hours. If you're sleeping 6 or 7 hours, just know that you're killing your potential as a footballer. Reason being, you're effectively like a computer running on delay, because when we sleep for 6 or 7 hours, our reaction time is so much worse than when we have 9 hours sleep. So for me, I get 9 hours sleep pretty much every day, and especially before a game day. I will always make sure that on a game day, the night before a game day, I always have 9 hours sleep, because my reaction time is better. And when your reaction time is better, it means you can time those volleys, you can time the half volleys, you can time your tackles, you can time your dribbling. Everything becomes better. You can do all your actions slightly faster. So just know that if you're not doing this, you are absolutely killing your potential. So the next game you play, try this. Go to bed a little bit earlier, wake up a little bit later, and you'll have a much better game, I promise. And fifth, we have communication. I know we can all get tied up in the whole, I'm playing for me. But football is a team sport. You literally have 10 other men on the pitch that can help you play. And you can help these 10 players as well. So what you need to do is communicate with them. Why would you not want to help these guys out? They're literally your teammates. And also, why would you not want to help yourself as well? Here's what not to do. Shouting for the sake of it, or shouting pointless abuse to your teammates. But if you want the ball, scream for it. Shout things like, Jamie's ball, or I'm here, yes, pass to me, pass to me. Anything like that, absolutely scream it. Because if you're in a good position, or you think you can do something with the ball, then you can literally win your team the game. For example, look at this clip. As you can see, I'm visually pointing, I'm visually communicating as well by putting my hand out, but then I'm also saying, pass me the ball. And the reason being is I've spotted a gap up the left wing. I've spotted the fact that I can just run past these players. And if I don't communicate there, if I don't scream for the ball, then that goal doesn't happen and we lose that game. So firstly, call for the ball, but as well as this, help your teammates out. Tell them man on, tell them there's a player there, tell them they can dribble here, tell them where the space is. And what this will do is, obviously first is demonstrating leader qualities, and being a leader is so key. But second, scouts love this. If you're a leader, scouts will literally see this and they'll respect you more. They will be more interested in you as a player. So it's not only to help your teammates, but it's also a selfish decision too. If you help players, you're also helping yourself because you're a better leader. Also, be careful of how you communicate, because remember, you're playing on the same team as these guys. So I know it's easy to get caught up in the whole, I needed the ball here, but you didn't pass to me, I'm so angry. But Don't do that whole thing. You're playing on the same team as these guys, so it's in your best interest to be friends with them on the pitch at least. So there you go. If you don't know already, we actually only remember 20% of the things by just listening. Whereas when we write things down, we remember upwards of 85% of the information that we've been given. So if you are interested in becoming a professional footballer and you do want to take it seriously, then please go back and make notes so you can actually take this into your next games and improve as a footballer. That's going to be the end of the video. If you want some more free training and you just want me to give you some more advice, then sign up to my mail list below. It'll be the first link in the description. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.